Man, I almost got beat up for looking out for one of you young heifers today, man. So how about I'm coming outside of Costco's, right?
Right.
And I see this couple, we're walking together outside of Costco's, and I noticed that they parked next to me. And the passenger side is by my driver's side, right? So I see that the young man, he gets inside of the car without opening the car door for the woman that he's with. So I kindly and politely
What is this, the 1800s?
open the car door for her, just trying to be a gentleman and to be an example for the young man that she was with, to let him know that, hey, a woman is not supposed to be, touching a car door. So he called himself getting out of the car. He say, nigga, did you just touch my car door? And I was like, hey, I was just opening it for the young lady. So he went to raising his voice, and I'm like, young man.
Nah, this dude's out of pocket. This dude's out of pocket. Isaiah GQ. With the handle like that, you've got the tinted lenses, suit, earrings on. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Look here. I was just being a good steward. I don't want no problems, young man. I don't want no smoke or whatever you young people call it. But I'm like, young man, look here. I was just trying to be an example and show you how it's supposed to be done. And he's steady raising his voice, and I said, hey, look here. I'm gonna get in my car and leave, okay? I don't want you to get yourself in something that you're not gonna be able to get yourself out of. But was I wrong? I think I was wrong. I'm not gonna lie. I think I was wrong. I shouldn't have touched his car door. And you know what I'm saying? I kind of apologized for that. And I was like, you know what? I'm sorry. That's my fault. I ain't had no business touching this car door. But he ain't had no business letting that woman touch that car door. But, hey, I'm just, man,
I can't tell if he's serious. There's no way. This has to be satire. If he's being serious about this story, then this is some high-level simping, if you ask me. And it's not like, I'm not saying this, because I'm not somebody who sits here and says, you shouldn't open doors for women. I say this. Some men will open doors for women. Hopefully they're grateful for it. I think it happens less. But opening the car door for another man's woman is just asking for trouble. I mean, I just recently covered a whole story about a man who died after looking at another man's girl for too long. I think that's what it was. And just so you guys don't think I'm a liar, we're going to ask Miss Coffee right here. Let's see. Our AI system, Miss Coffee. Miss Coffee, do you remember the story about the man who got shot for staring at another man's girl too long? Do you remember that, or am I just making that up in my head? Because I remember that story.
You're not imagining things. That incident did happen, and it's as tragic as it sounds.
Right.
Back in February 2025 in Miramar, Florida, a man named Anthony Souvenir was at a Walgreens with his girlfriend and their 1-year-old son. He confronted another man, Jamie Taylor, accusing him of staring at his girlfriend. An argument ensued, both men were armed, and unfortunately, Souvenir was shot and killed in front of his child. Taylor later turned himself in and was charged with second-degree murder.
This man was unalived on his birthday after he accused another man of staring at his girlfriend too hard. February 3rd, 2025, Anthony Souvenir here, aka Big Fetty, his girlfriend and their baby walked into a Walgreens when they noticed another man standing at the register. This man, Jamie Taylor, was there loading money on his Cash App card when the family walked in. Anthony saw him looking, so he yelled out, "Hey bro, you staring at her too hard," which they had words, but it kind of died down. When Anthony walked away from the situation, he thought he overheard Jamie saying something to him, so he responded to it. Jamie tells him like, "Hey bro, I'm not talking to you, I'm on the phone actually." But the argument picks up from there. Anthony then tells Jamie like, "Hey bro, I see you got one, I got one too," referring to his weapon that he could see on Jamie's waistband because that's where it was. At that point, Jamie actually put his hand on his weapon, but he didn't aim it at anybody. And when Jamie took his weapon out of his waistband, that's when Anthony started to reach for his bag. That's when Jamie fired the weapon, striking Anthony. Anthony was able to chase him just for a little bit before he collapsed inside of the Walgreens, and he was later pronounced deceased.
nypost.com/own law. And crime +1. It's a heartbreaking reminder of how quickly things can escalate and the devastating consequences that can follow. Sources.
No, Miss Coffee, it's a heartbreaking reminder of today's simp culture, if you ask me.
Whew. Now that's the truth, baby. It's not just about what happened. It's what it means. A man lost his life over a look. Not a threat, not a fight. Just a glance that bruised someone's ego. And instead of walking away or brushing it off, he picked violence. In front of a baby, no less. That ain't just tragic. That's a snapshot of where we are right now. So many people walking around with chips on their shoulder, like they got something to prove. Masculinity so fragile, respect twisted into something ugly, and no one taught folks how to just let things go. It's that simple culture you're talking about. The don't look at me, and don't step on my shoes. Don't like her pick too quick or too long. Culture. All ego, no wisdom. And the cost? Real lives. We got too many boys out here pretending to be men, armed, angry, and empty. And baby, that's the real crisis.
Right. This is it. Man who confronted Walgreens customer for looking too hard at his girlfriend, shot dead in store. Police. I'm saying this. I'm not saying that anybody should ever do this. By the way, I think this man's an idiot, the man who would allow that type of a situation to put him in that emotional state, right? But you don't know where people are at mentally, right? You don't know. And you got to be careful. Let's read a few of these comments. Top comment here says, you was right, but you was wrong. LOL. Here's another chick who says, I understand the intentions, but what in your right mind made you do that? Yeah, that's disrespectful. Here's another person who says, baby, I would have switched cars. What? Oh, no. Would have switched cars. Lulu, come on. Somebody else responded back, says, facts, but my loyalty could never. That's insane. And, this is the problem, right? Is you have women who say these type of things online like, oh, yeah, I want a dude who brings me flowers every day and opens the door. I'm not saying don't open the door for your girl. That's not what I'm saying. I open the door for my wife, right? I think if a woman has earned that position in your life, then she deserves it, right? Because it's hard to find a woman. But it can't happen all the time. This idea that she's never going to touch a door, that's not real life. Right? That's TV. That's not like long-lasting relationships, marriage life. She's going to touch some doors once in a while. Somebody else who says, you opened his car door for his lady. These YNs be crashing out. I'm crying. Somebody else here added, you definitely caused an argument on the way home. You touched his car, which is a violation. If you were dressed anything close to how you are in this vid, he felt insecure and embarrassed. Here's somebody else who says, you was in between right and wrong. Yeah. This was just plain disrespectful, if you ask me. Overall, watch out for Isaiah GQ. Hilarious video. I thought it was pretty funny. What do you guys think? Comment down below. Till next time, I'm out.